the most haunted hospital in America. They say hospitals are where life begins, but sometimes they're also where it ends. And in one hospital, the end never really ended. What if I told you there's a place in Los Angeles where the dead still roam the halls and the screams of patients never stopped? This isn't the story of a horror film. It's the real chilling history of Linda Vista Hospital. Stick around till the end because what happened here might just haunt you tonight. Linda Vista Hospital wasn't always a place of fear. In fact, it began with hope, built in 1904 by the Santa Fe Railroad Company, and the hospital was originally called the Santa Fe Coast Lines Hospital, meant to treat injured railroad workers. It was modern, beautiful, and staffed with some of the best medical minds of its time. The building itself, designed in the Spanish colonial revival style, stood like a grand palace, filled with sunlight and the smell of fresh medicine. But just like the bodies it tried to heal, this hospital wouldn't stay pure for long. By the 1930s, it opened to the public as Linda Vista Community Hospital, serving the growing Boyle Heights neighborhood in East LA. But the community began to change. Crime, poverty, and gang violence began to rise. The hospital saw more trauma cases, stabbings, and gunshot wounds than ever before. It became overwhelmed. Patients waited for hours. Equipment broke down, and behind closed doors, people whispered, "This place isn't safe anymore." By the 1980s, the hospital had earned a disturbing nickname, the place where people go to die. Elderly patients often died mysteriously. There were stories of doctors vanishing after surgical accidents, patients found dead in empty rooms, nurses refusing to work the night shift. The death toll kept climbing, and so did the fear. One former nurse claimed she heard crying from the pediatric ward, which had been closed for years. Security guards reported seeing figures in hospital gowns moving through the halls, figures that disappeared when chased, and visitors swore they saw faces in windows that should have been empty. After Linda Vista shut down in 1991, people began sneaking in, ghost hunters, urban explorers, and paranormal investigators. What they found was chilling. Cold spots in rooms with no ventilation, elevators moving on their own, voices caught on EVP recordings, whispering things like, "Get out," and "Help me." Doors slamming shut with no wind, apparitions walking down the hallways only to vanish into walls. The morgue became infamous. Investigators described overwhelming dread and nausea. Some had to leave mid-session. One psychic claimed, Linda Vista's decaying beauty and haunting atmosphere caught the attention of filmmakers. The hospital became a set for horror movies and TV shows like Insidious Chapter 2, Pearl Harbor, Outbreak, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But strange things happened on set. Lights malfunctioning only during emotional scenes, actors reporting hands touching them when no one was around, a cameraman quitting after seeing a burned woman in a hallway, one the crew swore was empty. Some productions even hired priests to bless the location before filming. Visitors report hearing knocking on walls and feeling watched. The surgical wing, tools are often found moved or rearranged, and people report hearing screams during the night, even when the wing is locked. The basement, shadowy figures, unexplained giggling, a strange chill that follows you out. The morgue, considered the most terrifying spot. Some say you can hear body drawers opening, even though they're all sealed shut. Why is Linda Vista so haunted? Some believe it's the result of malpractice and patient suffering. That trauma left behind a spiritual residue. Others say the building was cursed. One story claims a nurse performed rituals after her patient died. Another says a doctor committed suicide in the OR after losing a child on the table. Some believe Linda Vista sits on ancient tribal burial grounds. Whatever the cause, one thing is clear, the hospital never really closed. In 2011, Linda Vista was transformed into senior living apartments called Hollenbeck Terrace. New paint, new name, new life. But the spirits remained. Residents have reported footsteps at night, faces in mirrors, cold drafts, a woman in an old nurse uniform standing silently at the end of the hall. One resident said, "I didn't believe in ghosts, but I know I'm not alone here." Linda Vista isn't just a haunted hospital. It's a reminder that when we ignore suffering, we leave behind more than memories. We leave behind spirits, angry, confused, and desperate to be seen. So if you're ever near Boyle Heights in Los Angeles, look for the tall white building with the red roof. And if you hear knocking, don't answer, because not everyone who checks in ever really leaves. Like this video if it gave you chills. Comment if you dare walk the halls of Linda Vista. And don't forget to subscribe for more real horror stories that will keep you up at night.